Native News Today. Good afternoon and welcome to Native News Today. I'm Tubbs and this is Crockett. No, I'm just kidding. Jason Salzman, Gerald Wofford here on another beautiful Saturday and inching closer and closer to the football season.
Tubbs, Harjo, and Crockett, Yahola.
Yeah, no, God, Sonny Crockett. Man, you know what I'm talking about. Miami Vice. It's a blast from the past today. But we got a lot of great things coming up. I'm excited to be here.
We have to key on this, man.
Why? Your shirt was keying
Miami
earlier.
Light Horse.
Yeah.
It could be.
Miami Light.
Couldn't we do that?
No,
that would be
no. Come on.
Oh, okay.
No, we could be, Miami Light Horse, yes, but Muskogee Light Horse. But there's already one of those.
Well, there might be some,
copyright infringement. Yeah, you're right.
Stuff.
But we do have a lot of great things coming up on the show today. A lot of important stuff to talk about. The press conference up in Tulsa that Chief Ellis just had.
Right.
You've been reading in the papers or anything about the Creek Nation, you might have seen a little issue we got going on there with the city of Tulsa and the Muskogee Creek Nation tribal administration. Held a press conference there to clear up some issues about trying to put some land in trust, basically, and they're in the Tulsa area.
Well, actually calling out the city of Tulsa on some tax issues there.
Yeah, right. There's some issues that Chief Ellis will outline in his comments during the press conference. But we were thrilled to be able to go up and be a part of that. And there was a lot of media outlets that wanted to hear the Creek Nation side of the story in this because there's been things out there from the city of Tulsa, and now the Creek Nation gets a chance to give their side of the story. So we were glad to be able to cover that.
And shifting gears a little bit here too, we got a sports story here for you. Many people here in the local area, the sporting world, especially the boxing, know the name B.J. Wagner. Now it's been 6 years since B.J. has fought professionally, but the return of the Creek Warrior is going to happen. B.J. Wagner has decided to come out of retirement. We're going to have a story with him inside the gym here a little bit later.
Right, absolutely. The Creek Warrior, everybody out there is looking forward to the return, and he's got his sights set on a few big names out there, and if those fights happen, he progresses like he should. It should be a very interesting next summer for B.J. Wagner and for all of his fans around this area, so it should be cool.
And as we mentioned too, the proverbial dog days of summer are slowly closing to an end. And I think Mother Nature is kind of let us have not so bad of a hot summer as August usually is. We're venturing closer into September, and fall days are slowly coming here, and that always means the Tulsa State Fair.
Tulsa State Fair, and it's a great event for the city of Tulsa. It always has been, but for the last couple of years, what I was going to say is that it's been a great event for the Muskogee Creek Nation too, because they have an informational booth up there shared with the Tulsa Casino, now the River Spirit Casino. So it's all happening on this week's episode of Native News Today. We'll be back right after this break.
Our daily news media indicates the widespread meth epidemic in our communities, and Creek Nation is no exception. My office has initiated the Don't Let Meth Fool You campaign.
Hilisigat, pumiligistera, puskira ba, maneira goira. Madiktas mahad, oneira ruis, monoat, ochaira ros gois. Moes tumosad in daji wedis, ya ubanaga, monoat, hiliswa hisigat. In daji wedis, Muskogee alwa, in the sigaya.
Each of us plays an integral part in the prevention of meth abuse. Below is the telephone number for the Creek Nation Substance Abuse Program.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Jason Salzman, Gerald Wofford. We do need to make a correction there. The dog days of summer are officially really over.
Yeah, we got a lesson in Greek mythology during the break.
Because the dog started.
Or something, I don't really know. Yes. Jared was talking about something crazy.
Our producer, Jared Moore, certainly a Wikipedia here.
Yes,
a walking
he
Wikipedia.
Really is. He likes to get online and read these tidbits and snippets of information and spew them at us like he's some
We
kind
just
of
ought to be
expert.
glad it's not a live audience out there, because a lot of stuff we would say he'd call us on the air.
No. Jared just knows all kinds of information. I mean, some might call it useless, some might call it useful. But today it's been useful
What do we
because
call it?
he's let us know that the dog days of summer are over. So we don't have to say that anymore.
And letting you, the audience,
I don't
know
really
out
say it
there.
that much.
Native News Today, always an educational program as well, is what we bring.
Absolutely.
Speaking of education, too, here, we want to let the people know out there, Chief Ellis had a press conference last week. Now, this was to address the situation of the land purchase near the 81st Street area there in South Tulsa. Now, there's been some controversy about that land purchase, specifically from the City of Tulsa officials about how tribal land is purchased, how it's going to be used, and some concern overall of how tribes, when they purchase land, and how taxes are paid on it, and just the overall business situations of it. Well, Chief Ellis held his press conference to address the situation, especially for some people from Delaware County, because it seems that the City of Tulsa has purchased land up there, or water, because they get their water there from the area of Delaware County, Mays County up there, and Uchee. And according as you'll see in this press conference, some taxes there wasn't paid by the City of Tulsa. And Chief Ellis addresses that situation in this press conference. We caught up with him here last week in Tulsa.
We're here to discuss the land and trust issue that's been prominent lately in the newspapers and statewide. So we've been doing some research, and the City of Tulsa Council has objected us putting land in trust on the river. The mayor has objected, and I understand they're going to meet with the BIA director, area director Monday, possibly one of the council members. We've been doing some research with some help from Mitch Perry and some of them, and although they're objecting to us put 40 acres in trust here, we found out the City of Tulsa owns approximately 12,000 acres in Delaware and Mays County, and it is tax exempt. It's probably going on 80 years now. Tulsa hasn't paid any tax on this about 12,000 acres. So many schools up in that area affected, the county government, the city, the whole county's been affected. So this amounts to probably hundreds of millions of dollars that Tulsa has not paid. Yet they don't want us to put 40 acres in trust. I think this is a double standard. I think the City of Tulsa has developed a standard for the citizens of Tulsa and the people of the Creek Nation, and also the rural counties in eastern Oklahoma. I'll say that I'm hypocritical to take this issue the City of Tulsa has taken. We contributed so much to the city, over $1.5 billion into the economy. Employees, our citizens live in the City of Tulsa, and we just don't accept this. How can the City of Tulsa, the leaders, force us to not take land in trust when they are putting a burden on Delaware County and Mays County? Those citizens need the help too, and I can't imagine how much taxes they should have paid on that property. I think it's a lake and much more. So this is, to me, this is absolutely unacceptable.
Spavenol in Mays County is impacted. It has, I would say, at least a plurality native students. Jay in Kansas and Delaware County are also impacted. Both of those are heavily concentrated with Indian students. How can the City of Tulsa object to taking 40 acres off the tax rolls down here for economic development, and yet not object to 9,325 acres in Delaware County and over 2,000 in Mays County? They're impacting our kids, they're taking money away from our kids, and it's a double standard, pure and simple. The state of Oklahoma does not limit its political entities from taking land basically into trust. The City of Tulsa can go to any other county, buy up land, and take it off the tax rolls as much as they want. There's nothing to stop them. There's no law, there's no policy, nothing. So why can't the tribes do the same?
I notified 500 tribes throughout America to oppose this issue, because sooner or later they're going to face the same thing. And we've got to stand up against this, especially when there's a double standard.
All right, it's winding down into September, October. That time, football season, fall's turning over. So that only can mean one thing. Also rolling into this area is the Tulsa State Fair. I don't know how many years it's been, but I remember as a kid, I used to always go, you know, we lived not too far away from Tulsa at the time, so we'd always go to the Tulsa State Fair. It was, you know, they got it all in there with Bell's Amusement Park. Well, they did. I don't know if they do anymore, but it was all in there and all part of that. And go over and see some of the concerts, things like that. I think I saw George Jones at the Tulsa State Fair when I was like a kid. That's a great
I thought
memory.
you saw Boys to Men there.
No, were they there?
No,
Were they
I'm
ever
just
there?
kidding.
Dave, were they ever there?
Just kidding.
They were?
Are part of our live
I-
audience today.
I never saw
As we
Boyz
see
II Men
Dave
at
with his
Tulsa
Boys
State
to
Fair.
Men T-shirt on.
Yeah,
right
he's
there.
got a T-shirt probably. That's probably true though. He probably does have a T-shirt somewhere. But no, the Tulsa State Fair is a great event. There'll be like I said, shows going on, all kinds of food out there, arts and crafts. You know, the whole ordeal. It's and the great thing about it is you go in the Quick Trip Center there at Expo Square and you can find all kinds of different, you know. Well, all the time you go in there, you see like knife displays and things like that. But sometimes you can catch something actually cool, and that's like the Muskogee Creek Nation booth.
That's
gonna
right,
be there.
the Creek Nation booth. That's right. As you said, 2 years it's been there, and it's a chance for people to come by and they pick up some information about the tribe, learn some facts about the tribe, and just how important they are as a player in northeastern Oklahoma on the economy side, and just overall just helping out everyone here. So it gives the people a chance to come by and learn a little more about the tribe.
Absolutely, and the best thing about it is that it's partnered up with the new River Spirit Casino. So while people are learning a little bit about the new place to go and have a great time in Tulsa, they can also learn more about the culture and heritage of the Muskogee Nation itself. It's a great thing, and I sit down with Jibon Gouge with Public Relations to talk a little bit about this year's booth.
The past couple of years, we'd always shared booth space with the Tulsa Casino, which is now the River Spirit Casino. This year, we're actually having our own booth spot just behind it on the west side of the east side of the casino booth this year. It's always been a great opportunity to express that information about the nation out to the people of Tulsa. It gives us opportunity for them to look through our information to find out who Chief Ellis is, who's Second Chief Barry Hill, and our 26 national council members as well, and then that we are a government. So, but that's one of the things that allowed us to get general information about the tribe out there to the people. This year, we want to really present the culture of our tribe in a mighty way, because we do have the bow shooters that will be out there demonstrating some of the bow making, arrow making, and then I believe we'll have shell carvers as well. Judge Moore is kind of helping me present some of these things out there, and he's a great advocate in presenting our culture to the people. But we'll have a lot of our culture out there, our information, some of the giveaways that we do have some mugs that we'll probably give away. If you look around in our booth, you'll see some information out there that we'll just ask you general questions, and it'll just allow you to look through our brochures and some of the things that we have out there, just to find out what we're about. And Tulsa is Creek Nation, so that's one thing that we want to get out there as well.
Jason, if there was a creek promoter right now, famous one that had long bushy hair that just stands straight up, Don, what would they call him if he was Creek?
Don.
He wouldn't be Don King. He'd be
Don Miko.
He'd be Don Miko.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if that was the right answer.
I know. Well. Anyway, the reason we're bringing up these boxing jokes here and everything here, aside, the subject of boxing is being brought up because in Okemah, Saturday, October 3rd, they're going to have a Pro-Am boxing card there. And the headline features the return of the Creek Warrior. That's B.J. Wagner. And if you followed boxing here in this area, you know who that is. It's been 6 years since he's been in the ring, but he's making a return there. The event happening in Okemah that weekend. Pro-Am card, like 15 or 16 amateur bouts underneath that, including the number 3 ranked amateur in the world. That's Bo Gibbs Jr. Now, we were at the Everlasting Boxing Gym in Wetumpka and caught up with them to talk more about this. A lot of people are excited that B.J. Wagner is returning to professional boxing.
I know he's got a lot of friends and fans in this area. I've never seen him fight, so personally I'm excited.
Hey, we're all in for a treat.
Yeah, because I just met BJ a few years ago and became friends with him, and had stopped boxing by the time I met him. You know, all we've done together is just play softball. So, and a little bit of flag football too. So basketball too. I mean, we've played a little bit of everything, but I've never seen the guy in the ring, and very much looking forward to that. I hear he's quite good, and I can't wait to see it. I know, looking at a little bit of the tape, just just knowing him from his athleticism, I know he's probably got the game down to a pretty much an art by now. His dad is a great trainer and everything.
Now, this is a tune-up and an exhibition that'll be against Chad Johnson from Oklahoma City. So again, caught up with B.J. Wagner, Bo Gibbs there in the gym in Wetumpka. We are in Wetumpka, Oklahoma, at the Everlasting Life Boxing Gym. Property, Pastor Bo Gibbs, who runs this fabulous workout facility here, where many warriors come to train. Many are young and up and coming. Others have had their experience in the ring for many years and have garnered many trophies and awards and are furthering their career to gather even more. One of those warriors that I'm speaking with right now certainly has had his accolades and a great boxing heritage inside the ring. The Creek Warrior, as he's known to many people, is going to begin his return into the ring in October. Speaking with Mr. B.J. Wagner here. B.J., we appreciate your time, and a lot of people out there are just now gathering this information for the first time and seeing that you are returning to the ring, and it has been a little while, and if you could tell us exactly when it has been since you've been in the ring, but more importantly, the decision to return back to boxing.
It's been about 5 years since I've been in the ring. Last fight was at the Creek Nation Tulsa gaming facility. Come back, it's really got one agenda, to be honest with you, and that's to go after the title, the NABC title that George Tadnapa has, and really prove who is the best warrior in the ring out of Oklahoma. You know, he claims to be the best Native American fighter out of Oklahoma. Not true. That's me. So I'm coming back to let everybody know, and hopefully he'll give me that opportunity.
Now, you're here training at this gym, as we mentioned, here in Wetumpka, Oklahoma, Pastor Bo Gibbs' gym here. Tell us exactly what you have been doing specifically to prepare for this fight that you'll have in October.
Really just hard work, dedication, being here Monday through Fridays with Pastor Bo, which is also my pastor. I attend church on Sundays with, and little Bo. He's the kid that I'm really, dedicate a lot of my time to try to bring. He's the next up and coming champion around here. He's number 3 in the world right now, and just kind of help him, guide him in the ways that I went through growing up and the pains that I grew through. And it's not all as easy as getting in there and winning. There comes that other life of being ripped off and politics of boxing. That's what I want to be him for. He's a good enough fighter. He don't need me, but just the little things he needs.
Now, to let everyone know out there, this fight that we're talking about in October, that's going to be October 3rd in Okemah, Oklahoma, and we'll certainly give more information as that draws closer. But again, the return of the Creek Warrior, and BJ, you mentioned primarily your goal, the reason you're returning to the ring to prepare for this fight. And of course, this fight, again, the one on October 3rd, is against Chad Johnson. So it is a tune-up fight before the future goals down the road. But the price that it takes to get back into the ring, what that actually involves, the commitment, the dedication. Was that a difficult decision for you to realize everything that you're going to have to do to get yourself back into boxing form?
Absolutely. From where I started, I was 222 pounds starting to come back. I'm on track to make the 180, which was very, very easy for me. But the title's at 168. That's my goal. I could be there in a month if I needed to be, but I'm shooting for the 180 and then go from there. Definitely not overlooking the Chad Johnson guy. Don't know anything about him, but just picked that fight because he's bigger, heavier, and supposedly tough. So, and Brother Bo is the one that decided that that's probably the way I should go, and I'll just let him handle that side of it.
Now, talking again about your boxing history, I want you to tell our audience out there exactly how many years experience that you have in the ring, both amateur and professional. And as you mentioned, it's been just a few years since you've been back in the ring, but the many years that you've already dedicated to the sport and everything, in the back of your mind, you must have missed it a little while. And to actually be back into the gym now, actually training, actually focusing in on a goal and preparing, that's got to be exciting in a way too, right?
It's very exciting to be back and do something I love. This is my life. This is what I've always wanted to do. Life took a couple different curves and ended up just getting a regular job and working for a living. But this is my pastime, and this is my passion, and this is what I love to do. And like I said, my ultimate goal is to do one thing, prove to everybody who the best Native American is. And that's kind of really all I want to prove right now. But at the same time, you know, I've got 2 fights doing that and just enjoying being at the gym every day and at the ELB gym.
Right, in the Everlasting Boxing Gym here in Wetumpka, Oklahoma, the return of the Creek Warrior, B.J. Wagner, Saturday, October 3rd in Okemah, Oklahoma. B.J., we appreciate your time. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, inside the Everlasting Boxing Gym in Wetumpka, Oklahoma, talking with the head trainer, the manager, everything here. Pastor Bo Gibbs, part of this, and one of his young students here as well. We're going to get him to come on up here and talk as well. Bo Jr., also an accomplished boxer in the ring, as we had talked with B.J. Wagner earlier as well. And Pastor Bo, we appreciate your time here. Tell us a little bit about Everlasting Boxing Gym, please.
Well, we're glad to have you, Gerald. You know, Everlasting Life Boxing Gym is an outreach of First Assembly of God Church. We began this back in 2004 just to minister to some of the kids that are here in the community. Little we know it'd grow like it did. A relationship that I have with BJ. BJ is one of my best friends. He's come down, he's helped work with the guys. He's a legend in the ring and out of the ring. Getting in here and the fighters seeing BJ in the ring, training in the ring is just really awesome for them, especially with my youngest son, next oldest son, Bo. He's third ranked amateur in the world right now. Come back from Kansas City, Missouri, did really good, done really well at the National Golden Glove Native American Tournament, and we're really proud of him. And he works with BJ, and BJ just shows him things from time to time in the ring, and it's just really exciting. But that's what ELB is all about, Gerald, is just reaching out to the kids and opening a facility that's of a positive environment to get people interested in the sport of boxing again.
That's right, and we're going to get a chance to see Bo and BJ spar here in just a minute here, but I want to talk a little bit more too about Bo Jr. here.
Sure.
You mentioned here a great summer he had this past month, being in Kansas City, ranked now number 3 on the amateur level. And of course, one of the big reasons we're here is all this is preparing for the October 3rd fight card in Okemah.
Absolutely.
BJ is going to be part of that, and as well as Bo Jr., right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. You know, we're going to showcase the main event will be the return of the Creek Warrior, B.J. Wagner, but we're also, under the undercard of that, will be little Bo Gibbs Jr. He is going to be able to avenge a loss that he lost a close decision from one of the champions, a regional Gold Glove champion from Kansas, and Noel is coming down to rematch Bo, and it's just going to be a rumble in the ring, and they're going to get it on because they can't get along in the ring, but outside the ring, they're going to be friends as always.
Well, as you mentioned here, Return of the Creek Warrior, number 3 amateur in the world here. I mean, this is going to be a great card that's going to be put together, and I think there's maybe a couple others here that are training here. Can we mention them as well?
Oh, sure. We've got one of my older fighters that's just making a comeback in the amateurs. He's really actually one of the only undefeated fighters I've got in the ring, in the gym. Call him Booger. His name is Kyle Jr. Goodwin, and he's going to be on that card. My oldest son, which is also a minister, will be on that card. A lot of the fighters that we started with over 5 years ago, Gerald, are coming back to fight in this card for one reason. They want to be in the same card as the Creek Warrior. They want to be able to say that they fought on the same card as B.J. Wagner. So it's going to be exciting.
Well, we want to give a chance for Bo Jr. here to say just a few words, too. As we mentioned, it's been quite a summer for you. I mean, just all the places you've been and everything. You got to be happy with some of your accomplishments this past summer.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy going down there and getting ranked number 3rd. It was a good experience, and just see what else I can do.
Well, what are perhaps maybe some of your future goals? What do you want to accomplish more in the ring?
I just keep training and get all the experience I can get and try to make the 2012 Olympic teams, then turn pro from there.
Well, all right. Always seeing champions in the making. That's a great thing to see. Bo Jr., Pastor Bo here in the Everlasting Life Boxing Gym in Wetumpka, Oklahoma. Gentlemen, we always appreciate your time and all the best to you. God bless.
God bless. All right.
And that's going to wrap us up for this week. We hope everyone has
Wrap up the
enjoyed.
hands.
Wrap the hands. Get ready for the return of the Creek Warrior. Get ready for Chief Ellis to come out swinging against the city of Tulsa. Got to do a little fighting back, you know.
Thompson Gouge at the Tulsa State Fair.
I don't know if he's going to be fighting anybody, but
Well,
no.
getting those corn dogs.
We do not condone violence. Yes, exactly right. That honestly, it
We
was
don't.
a great program.
You ought to see us
Looking
when
back-
we're trying to produce this show
No
before.
kidding. We're at each other's throats. No, honestly, we are proud of the show today. We had a lot of great things going on, and like we said, the return of BJ, that's going to be awesome. And also, you know, keep in the news and in the media outlets and advised on the what's going on with the Creek Nation City of Tulsa. It's an interesting thing there to see what will come out of that. And really, as Chief Ellis was saying in the story, it's kind of a precursor to, you know, maybe that will be some bigger issues out there that maybe we can set a precedent here that they can other tribes can use to their advantage in the future. So that might be a deal that we look for there. One thing I do want to point out, though, before we go, Native News today, we certainly keep our eye on the national news and what's going on a global scale. And this week we've had the passing of the Lion of the Senate, Mr. Ted Kennedy. And I don't mention that here just to say, oh, let's jump on everybody else, but specifically with Indians and the work he did with Indians in the Senate there was incredible. And Indian country owes a great amount of debt to and gratitude to Ted Kennedy with the fights he did with the Indian education specifically. Now, he was on the Special Senate Subcommittee taking over for his brother Bobby was being assassinated on Indian education. And his report to Congress actually started the Indian Education Association. So big time lion in the Senate for Indians education.
That's interesting you say that, because at that time in '68, 3 months before, you know, that unfortunately being assassinated, you know, that Robert Kennedy and Ted visited the Indian community in Oklahoma, in Kenwood. My mom got a chance to visit and meet with them, so that was really special.
Absolutely, yeah, and like I said, I got books where, you know, of photos from the Pine Ridge Reservation when they had the AIM takeover there, American Indian Movement takeover. You know, one of the first guys down there to, you know, show up and empathize with the people there was Ted Kennedy, and you know, just really a senator for the people. I think he cared about people. You know, he wasn't perfect like anybody, but, you know, like I said, he cared about people, and the more specifically, the people that nobody else cared about really, or didn't care to look at their plight or anything like that. So in an important time, you know, like I said, his report started the National Indian Education Association and really shifted back to the tribes controlling how they educated their youth. So it's a great loss for the Kennedy family, for America, and for Native Americans. But hey, you know, we appreciate his service, and we'll see you guys next week. Wrap them.
Oh. They enjoyed the show. We love the show. Keep up what you're doing. Thank you. Appreciate that.